Hi everyone, Daniel here. Here's another quick video of me making Hearthmate. And just before we start, I'd like to make a few comments about Swift 1.2. It's super cool. Everything got faster. We got better tooling. The language has a few very welcomed changes that I think personally I've been asking for a while in few cases. Um, the downside of it is it's in a beta, and it's what's made it worse. It's in a separate beta, so we have, as of this recording, we have 0.1.1. That's the released official version of Xcode that you can use to submit app. And then we have beta 6.2 that's mostly released for WatchKit, I believe. And then now today, a few days ago, we got 6.3 that includes Swift 1.2 among other improvements of the overall platform. And presumably, we won't get a 6.3 official release before 6.2 is released, and that probably will happen after the Apple Watch release, which is in April. And I really would like to take advantage of all the improvements on Swift 1.2, but I can't ship with a beta version of Xcode. But can you see my quandary here? I I don't know what to do. I Whatever I write now with Swift 1.1, I can submit it, but it will stop working. Now, luckily, Apple provided a converter from 1.1 to 1.2, and through some experiments, I think it works fairly well. So hopefully that's our savior. That will, um, but it's it's really tough to keep working Swift 1.1 as of right now. Anyways, I don't have a concrete plan for today, so let's. I'll probably work on some random stuff. So a quick update on the state of the app. Um, I think you've seen this, the making of this in the last video where we have all these dots to represent the numbers in these grids. And I added just a little bit more. So when you tap on one of these, it will show you a pop-up. And in here, we'll actually show some numeric data and whatever detail we can come up with to represent the data that resides here. And um, so if you click on the empty cells, they don't do anything. So there's still a few issues with this implementation, even as of right now. So one thing is now I have the pop-up, but when I turn the entire app, well, the entire grid will relay out, and then the pop-up just lost its position and orientation. And what's worse, the selected cell got reused, and the cell that changed the background just showed up randomly elsewhere, and that's not good. So let's think about how to avoid that and make our pop-up look better. You'll notice that in horizontal, the pop-up always shows up on the left or right, and in vertical mode, it shows up or down. And that's I actually have code that detects and makes sure that happens. But when you rotate it, it will keep whatever orientation it has. So that was down, now it's still down, and it's just out of place. So I'm going to tackle the reuse problem. And I don't have this, I don't know exactly what to do, but my inkling is that we should, there's there's some kind of event that we get when the cell gets displayed, and we can initialize the state of the cell there. there probably is something we can do with the cell class itself, and also in the table class there might be some other things we can do. And I am going to try something in the table class. So this cell should be, well, this view should be the grid report view. And also I've been using the word table because table view, table cells is how I think about things. Apparently they're, you know, more, this is a collection view. So let's look it up. UI collection view. I think I'm going to look at the delegate, right? We have managing highlights, tracking addition, adding an addition. So we have well display cell and display cell. Alrighty, so we've got a bunch of colors now, and when I click this, nothing changes. When I rotate it, did these get reprinted with one being 0? Yep. So looks like we've got our opportunity to change these cells. And now all we need to do here is set the color to whatever the initial color should be, unless the color is not supposed to be what it is. So what I'm trying to do is actually very simple. We have cell.background color, blah, blah, blah. I can copy this code over here. So for the popover, we can either hide the popover and reset the status of the entire sheet, or we can try to somehow keep the popover open but relay out it. And I think the latter is better, but it requires more work. So after some experiment, I decided that it's easier just to dismiss the controller, the popover, when the rotates it's about to start, and that just makes the results so much cleaner. As you can see, it's gone, everything's reset, and you'll notice that the orientation of the popover is correcting each orientation, and that's what I'm gonna go with. So next, I'm going to think about what to display in this view. And I think the very basic thing is to summarize its what it is, like what, well, we have a visual representation of what it represents, but think about if you got a point here, say, it's kind of hard to, well, it's not super hard, but it would be nice to actually show that, oh, this is in victory summary, this is for hunter that has 5 wins, and also what this number actually is, right? So I'm gonna think about that. Data wise, we will need to pass down our view model, which is the all-knowing data source thing, from our grid report view controller, this rigid grid, to this popover. And then this popover needs a few pieces of information in order to ask for the right information, right? What, how many wins, what class, and presumably I like to have some information that represents, oh, is it a popover for this view or this view? And yeah, so that information I can supply as like a string for a format string that summarize what this is basically. So let's get on to that. I'm going to go into my view controller. Well, my storyboard is what I meant. And then here, and we can say, we can throw in a header for a table. In this header, there's a bunch of things we can do, but I'm first, so, for now, I'm just going to throw in a label, and I'm going to make it centered, I guess, centered both ways. And I'm going to make a reference to it, of course. Standard steps. While I'm here, I'm going to declare a few more things. Of course, we have our view model, that is the arena view model. Is that what I called it? Arena report view model. This guy will have our data, will give us the data, and yeah, and I guess we'll need two pieces of data, as I've said a little while ago. The stat, uh, and the class. Right? Is stat a good name? Count, maybe count. The um, maybe stat count. All right, because I don't want to use count because count is a built-in keyword in Swift 1.2 at least. Um, so count is going to be an integer. Um, and player class is going to be an integer. Also, um, so the summary would be something like um, Hunter wins like X number of like number like it's almost like 5 Hunter wins. No, it's like 5. It's like played Hunter and win 3 out of 12 for X amount of time. Win with, so win or lose. So I'm what I'm trying to figure out is what piece of string is needed to fit in that template, right? As for now, I'm just gonna say, oh, you're um, just a string, right? It's just gonna be like a type header description thingy, and I'm gonna give it a sensible default. Okay, so as you can see, there's a few exclamation mark here. That means these needs to be to exist, and how the way it exists is it's passed down from its parent view controller, and we're going to do that right now. And um, as you can see, we have rigid grid view controller, not here, grid report view controller. We'll have to look for prepare for segue, and here at some point we already have a reference to the view, I guess. Destination view controller as view controller. Okay, so we have something here. something like this. We've got we grab the orientation, and then we grab our destination controller as the class we just had created, and then here we give it our view model, the x and y shifted by one because I would like 0 to be 0. However, in landscape, zero's x is y is 1, one's x is 2, etc., etc. Same thing for the class. I'd like, well, for the class, actually, I prefer it to not be shifted because 0 is unknown, as I've mentioned in a video before. So 1 would be the first class, and that's good. And there's only one thing left to be passed down to the stat view detail view controller. That is the already forgot what I called it. Type header is just arbitrary name, I guess. We have to pass it in the parent of that arena report controller. Pass it down there as we are doing with all the rest of these information. So, which it's getting increasingly out of hand. Um, we have maximum stat, dating landscape, corner content, um, view model. These are all passed down from above. Do I really like it? I do not know. I think this is unused. Okay, yeah. Alright, I'll just stuck it in here for now. Okay, I think with this you can get the idea, right? Yeah, we have a very descriptive string for the cell that's selected, and that's pretty cool. So to actually show this question marks, I realized that we already have that data as in data in landscape in the grid view. So uh, I guess we are not going to use the view model for now. I'm going to leave it because we have the rest of the table to populate. And I'm going to say that, so we have the stat count. Oh, I hate this name. What about uh, what if I leave stat count and I assign something else, repurpose this as the, the count that would be the number that's here, and to replace this, um, how about numeric um, header, type header? No, we got player class. Maybe I'll call it when loss stat. No, it's ambiguous either way. Yeah, just call it stat. Why not? So now stat is going to be the previous stat count. And then the question mark will become the actual stat count. Also, to make sure I don't forget this, I will actually change this. Okay. And we need to pluralize this word properly, even though this might be just temporal. I'd like to keep things clean. If stat count is greater than 1, we will add an S. Otherwise, it will be empty string. How about that? Okay. And we actually have that piece of data here, which is stat detail count. How many is this many? We have our data in landscape, right? Yep. Y minus 1, that gave us the row, and x minus 1 gave us the column. And that should do it. All right. So 2, 4, 2. Okay. Yeah, so that big dot is 7. This dot is 1. This is 1. 7. Okay, cool.